What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know if you can hear me right now before I get started. All right, E, I see you not missing a beat. We got a little troll action going on in the comments right now, but thank you for taking care of that, Erica. O'Shea, hey, love, simply beautiful. What's up? Awesome. You can see and hear me. Good deal. All right, so I'm going to make this one really cool, but really short and to the point. But we're going to do something in class today where we're going to do a little bit of this artistic impression through a website that I like to use for these type of effects. So some of the class today will be working on making these effects, and then the other part of the class, of course, will be editing our template and using our Photoshop. All right, let's get it. Now, let me check real quick because you all posted some cool photos. Let me see. I think I picked the one that I want, but I'm gonna double check. See what you all posted for me. I always post great pictures. I have this one here of some gorgeous and I'm sure very smart and talented cheerleading young ladies. Yeah, I'm going to take you through the whole process, what we're going to do in class, every last little bit of it. If I downloaded it correctly. Hold on a second. And I did not, so let me go grab that file. All right, let's do this one right here. Toya, this is a gorgeous photo here. Let me copy that. So make sure, Toya, that you get with Erica Kane to make sure that you get this template for free because we're going to use this photo. And I happen to have another photo that if I have time to do the demo for it, then I will put that photo in there as well. All right, so we're starting with a photo. Of course, the background is in there, and this might even be a little difficult because the brick is very much similar to skin tone color. So normally when you have a photo against brick, you might have some issues with remove BG, but let's check it out. Let's do remove, if I can spell, .bg. And I'm just going to drag and drop my image either from the folder or I can drag and drop it right here from the bottom of the browser. Well, all right. I think it did a pretty good job of cutting out the contours even against the brick. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and download the HD version so I have the highest resolution possible for this one. And let's go ahead and download this one as Toya's name so I know that she gets that credit. I'm going to go ahead and close out of Facebook because it uses up a lot of resources. And let's go ahead and pull in our photo. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to use this website, and you'll find the website in the template. So I'm going to go ahead and double click. If you don't know, this is my daddy-o. I just call him daddy in general because he's like a dad to everyone. And what we did here was use the website that does some artistic versions of your photo just to give it a, just a little extra edge. And I've included some examples here. There are way more than what's here. This is the matrix effect, polygons, scribble. I think we're going to deal with scribble today. But you'll have an opportunity to play with this even more after class. The reason why we're using scribble is because it kind of makes the artwork look sketched. And a lot of times you all are asking me about ways to make things look cartoony or just not so photographic, and this is one of those ways. So right now, I think I'm going to use Sketch 4. This is Scribble. Scribble kind of has more swirls in it. I think we're going to use Sketch 4. And let me find it real quick. There we go. Sketch 4 artifact. And let's go ahead. I have it on hard light and 60% as the opacity. Therefore, I'm getting a little bit of my image below it. If I turn this all the way up to, let's see, let's duplicate that. I'm going to turn it all the way up to 100%. And instead of hard light, I'll turn it to normal. And you'll see that by playing with the blend modes, which is, you know, what we're learning in Photoshop right now, is not being intimidated by these advanced applications that we can put into place. So I'm going to go ahead and clip these back down. We're doing hard light, and the only reason why I know hard light is because I just play with these, and whatever looks good to me, do hard light. And then I play with the opacity till I got it to where I wanted it, because extreme opacity is giving me more white than I wanted, and I'll just pull it down until I feel like it gives me an appropriate effect. And I think around about 70, what I have it, 60% before, looks good to me. So these are merely here to give you some suggestions of what you can create, but we're actually going to go ahead and create this in class. Now, the way that we're going to create this is very unique, because I want to make sure that we have enough space on the outside of your cutout image so that when the effect applies, I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like without the clipping mask. Let's go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to bring this above just so you can see. It has some additional edges that show up. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it all the way to 100 so you can see what I'm talking about. So even though it's a PNG, when we place it into the program, it has some edges that kind of get artistic as well. You may end up using them or you may not, but what I do is I have it clipped down to the PNG of the image so that it exactly fits the contour of the existing PNG. Right, and this is an example we did before, and I may go ahead and Tanya, I think you gave me this other image. Well, last time, I believe so. No, that was Toya this time, Tanya. So Tanya, you'll get this one too. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this off right now so we can focus on how we're going to bring this in and all of these good old steps, because this is not going to be a traditional bring in your photo with the smart object. We're going to have to do a little extra work here. So let me close this up. Now, just for your reference, this is the link to the website here. I'm going to copy it, and we'll just paste it into our browser. And I want you to know that you're going to have a lot of different options here. But for right now, we're going to stick with the one specifically that I say the Sketch 4. So let's go ahead and add our photo or upload our photo. We'll choose the file. And oh, before we do this, this is how we have to prep the file. And I'm doing this on purpose because I know that some of us will have different size images, and I don't want your image to get cut off when it does the effect. So we're actually going to drag and drop the image first into the smart object. So let's find the PNG there. And let's drag and drop it here. And you want to make sure that your image is not going within an inch of the outside edges here. And I'll show you why in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the background example layer. And this looks good right here. We're going to do save as or file, save as. Some of you may have save as. Some of you may have save as a copy. So whichever one you have, if you went to save as, you can always choose as a copy right here. And then go ahead and choose the PNG. We want it to be PNG. Place it in your 147 folder. We'll go ahead and save that. And now we can upload that PNG onto our website. And this website is called LunaPic. It has some really cool presentations of the different ways that you can use these art variations here.
What?
All right, so let's go ahead and choose our art look. Let's go to art. We're going to go to famous artworks.
So these are rubbing roll.
Okay, and let's go ahead and choose the sketch 4. All right, so as you can see, once you, even if it's a PNG, it tends to add some additional glowing edges, and they may or may not be helpful for you. So this is the reason why we place it on the artboard. So just in case you want to keep these glowing edges, it's not going to be cut off because you have plenty of space around your perimeter of your image. Now it may look a little extreme and harsh. If you want to, you can see what it's going to look like if you downplay it, but I keep it all the way up to the extreme, and then I use Photoshop to make my adjustments rather than the program. All right, so I'm going to leave it here, and then we'll go ahead and go to adjust so that it renders those adjustments, and then we're going to hit save. And I will go ahead and I like to save this as the effect that we use. So for this particular one, we used Sketch 4 artifact. And let's go ahead and save that. Now we'll go back into our Photoshop Smart Object. And we're going to drag and drop the image into this onto this artboard. The reason why I'm doing it this way is so that hopefully it's the exact same size. All right, so let me pull up my 147 folder. There's my sketch art there. I'm going to drag and drop it right here. Once I hit enter, it'll lock in the transformation, and I'm going to right click, create a clipping mask, and see how it clipped it to the original photo. This is why I'm strongly suggesting, or the way that we're going to do this in class is this precise method, because I don't want anyone to have any variation in sizes of their images, or if the image doesn't line up properly because of the way you dragged it in. If we do it like this, it's going to work the perfect way every single time. All right, so let's go ahead, and we set the blend mode for the other presentation was, I believe it was hard light. And you can really see those pencil strokes on hard light. But I'm going to change the opacity to about 60% because I felt like it let a little more of the photo show through, but it still gives us that sketch look. All right. That looks good there. So I have these other options here just to show you some different ones, and let's show you maybe one more. Let's go back. We'll undo this effect. Go back to our original image. All right, and the color for this team is black and gold, so that'll be real simple to recolor. Let's do one that I like is called floating. And depending on the resolution of your image, the effects can apply very, very different. So this one has a decent resolution, but you'll notice that the higher resolution you have, you'll see more details like in the eyelashes or the hair. You'll get a lot more fine details. But this looks really cool to me. I really like the colors that it came up with for this. However, You are welcome to, like I said, play with those adjustments if you need less. But I always crank it up to the extreme and then pull it in and let Photoshop handle my adjustments. So this looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and hit adjust here. And once it has adjusted, I can hit save. And this one is called floating art effect. I'm going to change that to a 2 just so I know that's my second photo. And again, I can drag and drop it into Photoshop. And I'm going to pull it right underneath my sketch 4. And now you can see I can even combine these effects. So I combine the sketched effect with the floating art effect. And again, I can play with the opacity, the blend modes, all of that good stuff. But for this one, I'm just going to leave it on the sketch 4 effect. I don't know. I really like these colors. I wasn't expecting to like these colors so much, but I do. Let's see if I can choose a different blend mode rather than, we have hard light. But hard light looks really good for this blend mode too. Linear light looks even better. And then let's say there are parts of the face that we want to show through a little bit better because we may not want the effect there. We can go and add a layer mask on just that. Get our brush. And as long as we have black selected, we can allow more of the face to come through. Now I'm just going to, I like the artistic effect, but I'm going to show you if you wanted to bring that opacity down just a little bit, lets more of the face show through. I'm just using a less opaque brush to let some of the details through. And then that way you can kind of recolor and get that artistic expression without totally covering up the face there. All right, so let me go back to what we're doing for today. That was just a little bonus to show you how you can play with these extra effects. We're going to do the sketch 4. And now that this has been updated, all I'm going to do is close out of it and say yes, that I want to save those changes. And it should update to my smart template. Awesome, awesome. All right, so this theme is a black and gold. Obviously, I have some colors on here. So let's work on what smart color theme colors we want to go with for this one. Let's say we'll keep the black, which is 4. This one has 4 colors. Actually, it has 5 colors because I included black and white on here. I'm going to leave the white lightning. I'm going to leave the black where it is. And then let's play with maybe turning this yellow to gold. But I want to pick a gold from the image. So I'm going to use my color picker tool, my eyedropper. I'm picking up gold here. And then I'm going to double click on my Smart Color 3, double click on the swatch, and I'll just pick from my foreground color here. Say yes, that I want to update that. And it changes that yellow to gold. Now let me go back just a moment because just in case anyone wants to keep this colorful scheme, I'm just going to duplicate that Smart Color, same thing. And then that way you'll have the yellow and you'll have the gold. All right, let's go ahead and save and update that. I'll tell you, awesome, you're here with us. Cool, cool. I'm just not seeing the comments. Y'all know when I get to designing and get on this teaching mode, I get a little absent-minded. So I didn't say hey to y'all. I was trying to go ahead and get this thing on out. I see y'all, Teresa, hey Latoya, hey Christina, Vantrisa, Camilla, Nicole, what's up, loves? All right. All right, let's go ahead and change out this color here. Let's just do variations of gold. Why not? So since we already picked a gold, I'm going to go for Smart Color 2. Instead of cyan, we're going to duplicate that layer. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to name it like that. Let's duplicate the layer. And let's choose the gold, and then let's shift. So since I'm going with a monochromatic scheme, I'm just going to shift the color a little bit just to get another variation of gold. Yes, I want to save that, and it should update. All right, so Smart Color 2 is updated. Oh, duh, these aren't my smart colors. These are my smart colors down here. I'm like, it didn't update. Let's see, that was Smart Color 3. And let's see, where did we use Smart Color 3? Let's pull it in here. Normal. And that is the gold. Let's see where we're using this color here. Oh, I have to clear the layer style here. There we go. And that isn't a dark enough gold for me to really see the difference there. So I'm going to double click and go a little more extreme. And let me show y'all something. When you see that caution symbol, that means that you're on a color that's probably out of your color gamut. So just click on it and it will choose a next best option. Let's see how that looks. All right, I like that a little bit better. And then what I may do for the pink is go in with like a gray, since we're doing monochromatic here. So the Smart Color 1 is currently magenta. Let's duplicate that. And instead of making it black, we can go for black. And then we'll just pull it up a little bit. And go for like a charcoal gray just to get some variation there. Awesome. Now, what I've also done for this template is if you want to see any of the other colors in that space, I really like the white there. Let's see, let's go to where the gray is, which I believe is right here. Color 1. And instead of the gray, if I want to try the white, that stands out. Let's see, I think it's a little too much gold already, but we can try it out. And I'm thinking here the white really makes this pop, so I'm going to keep white there. And of course, depending on how many colors you have, whether you're dealing with a monochromatic scheme, you may or may not even end up using all 5 color slots. All right, so I also want to show you we can change the color of the text here. Let's go to the text group. And right now the dark gray is on, and any of the black, whites, or grays are pretty much going to recolor this the same because the blend mode is on what? It's on color. So when you're recoloring something, if it's already grayscale, it's not going to change anything. However, if you place any color that does have a hue, whether it be pink, gold, burgundy, whatever that color is, will apply to the grayscale below it. So for this one, I think I'll keep the gold on for the text color. Let me see if I want the lighter gold or the darker gold. And it's pretty much doing just about the same thing because it's just basically coloring the gray underneath it. All right, and give me an idea here for what text you might want here, Toya. Is this like champions, or what do we want to say here? Hi, Barbara. Welcome. If this is your first time, hey, love. All right, so yeah, this is going to be for class tonight. I'm just giving y'all a preview of what we're going to be doing. I usually do that ahead of class just to give you an idea of what you can expect in class tonight. All right, and while we're waiting to see what the text might be for this one, I'm going to go ahead and do another image switch up, and that's because I wanted to do a variation of this one. There was a really cool photo from last session that I didn't get a chance to work with Iris. I want to use this football photo. It is super cute. Well, let me say tough because I don't want to call him cute because he's in beast mode. So let's call him tough. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the Luna pic. I'm going to just go to upload. I'm going to choose that particular image. It's already been cut out by Remove BG. And everything looks like it cut out really well. It cut out around the helmet pretty well too. So I am happy with that. Now let's go ahead and do our artifact. So let's go up to art. And we can go to the famous artworks to find that sketch 4. So same thing. I'm just showing you how it works for a different type of image. All right, and again, it kind of black and whites everything out, but it's cool because we're going to use our own blend modes in Photoshop to work with this. Now, I'll show you that this is what I was trying to explain. I inadvertently did this, but it shows you. You see how I brought the image in and it really does cut off this glow here? If you wanted to keep this glow, you wouldn't be able to keep it because it would cut off the top of his head there. So let's do this how I said we would do this in class. Let's go ahead and go to the photo. We'll double click because it's a smart object. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the existing photo. And I'm going to drag and drop the image here. So the background was already removed. I'm dragging and dropping it here so that I can ensure that it has a good amount of bleed space around it. Let's hit enter. Now what this also ensures is that my image is the exact same size from the original photo. So now I'm going to file, save as, and I'll go ahead and save it as a PNG. And some of you may have save as a copy in order to get to the PNG. If you don't see, if you go to save as and you only see like a couple of options, you don't see PNG, that's because you need to go save as a copy. Okay, so this will be photo 3. And hit OK, and make sure it saves it as a large file size. You don't want it resizing anything. All right, now let's go check out this difference. When I upload my photo now, if I go to upload, choose the file that I just saved with the extra border around it, or we won't call it border, let's call it a margin. All right, you see I have plenty of space around my image. And now when I do the artifact, I'm looking for sketch 4. All right, see now I have enough space where if I did want to use this image and include the area that glows around it, I won't be cutting anything off inadvertently. All right, so let's go ahead and save this one as is. This one is sketch 4, but this is image number 3. All right, I can close out of my browser, or I can literally drag this from the browser right on top of this artboard. And when I drag and drop it, notice that it is the exact size. I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask. So some of you never know how to create a clipping mask, have not had to manually do it. That's what we're going to be doing with what we pull from the internet. All right, so what we're doing here is we're taking some type of free online designer and we're incorporating those techniques into our Photoshop file, but still using some of the advanced Photoshop techniques. All right, so instead of normal, if I wanted to do exactly the blend mode we had before, I'm going to change it to hard light. You see, it makes that effect like look really extreme. Let's pull the opacity down a little bit here. And now he looks all sketched in. Really, really simple. And I like to use the adjustments in Photoshop because between the blend modes, the opacity, and some of the effects that you can do, you have a lot more control over how this image ends up looking. So this looks really tough to me. I want to bring out a little more color here. So maybe I want to do a different blend mode, or I may just want to pull out some color. So that's divide. I'm going to leave this, and then I'm actually going to take this image, Alt click and drag it above. So the same photo, I'm going to clip to the photo itself, and then I am going to change the blend mode to, let's see, lighten, overlay. I'm just looking for that red and that orange to be punched up a little bit, so I'm going to choose overlay, but it's a little too extreme on his face. So like I said before, I have the option to create a layer mask and brush away maybe some of the effect that's on the face. And let me go ahead and choose 100% opacity now. See, it didn't look so extreme when I was not doing 100% opacity. And let's say maybe parts of it I want to be a little bit more of that red showing through. But I also want to see a little bit more of my sketch marks. Let me make this a little bit smaller, and let's kind of see a little more sketch right there. There we go. That looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, say yes, I want to save changes. Awesome. So Toya, they won the competition. Yes. The first one of the season. Well, they're off to an excellent start then. They're starting off with trophies. Awesome. So it's Wayne County High School. Got you. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring Toya's image back so I can redo the text here. So all I'm going to do is turn on that one, turn off this one. Yes, we're going to save those changes. Now you do have to be aware. Don't go adding 30 different images to this smart object. It'll make your file large for no reason. So although I'm demonstrating with 3 different subjects here, I want y'all to focus on only having maybe 1 or 2 subjects that you do switch out of, because it can make your file really large and it just makes it harder for Photoshop to render those changes. So let's go ahead and change this. I think this font is one of our fonts. It is the Natural Naughty font. So if you know anything about Naughty by Nature, it is fashioned after that font. Let's do the text group so that I can keep this text the same here. I'm going to duplicate the group, and then I'll change the text here. So I can click on the word innate, find it here, double click on it here, and can I copy and paste? I can copy and paste from YouTube. So I like to copy and paste text so that I'm not misspelling anything. Now what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to do Wayne, let's do Wayne County, and then we'll do high school on the next line. I'm just double clicking on the T and changing that text out. And let's go ahead and bring in our guidelines so we are not designing outside of our areas, because we think we have so much space on an all over shirt and we really do not. So let's do Control T to transform this text. Bring it in a little bit, make sure that we are good inside of our art box. And if it hangs out just a little bit, it's okay as long as it is legible. If you don't mind it getting cut off, then let it hang outside of that box. If you care about it being cut off, then do not let it hang outside of that box. Now here, I also want you to notice on this photo layer, I have a layer mask here, but this layer mask may not work with your photo. So let's go ahead and delete that layer mask, and we're going to make a fresh one. So remember how the feet are cut off here? Let's go ahead and add a fresh layer mask. Grab our paintbrush. We're going to make sure that black is loaded. If it's not, we're going to hit our default there. And then we'll hit the switcheroo button to get the black up front. Let's go ahead and use our paintbrush, but of course it's too small now, so Control Alt, I'm right clicking, making it larger, or you can just right click and make your size of your brush larger. And I'm just going to brush across the bottom here. And because it's not really important to have a graphic down there, I'm going to take it off, but I'm going to show you a football photo where the football's down there, and you may want to keep that data down there. All right, so this one is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my guides here. Now, here's the thing. If you are sending this to me to print, or if you're sending this to your large format printer, you're going to want to go ahead and just save this as a JPEG and print this the size that it is. This will print, it will press on a small up to an adult 3X, right? But if you are putting this into the split template, the magic split template that we have, or you are mocking this up, you may want to just turn this one off. Then that way it appears like a wallpaper and you can resize it and use it accordingly. All right, so I'm just going to save it just like this. File, and I'm going to do Save As. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. And then this is my variation number 2. All right, and it'll save as a JPEG, and then we'll go back and do the football image and save it as well. Make sure that you save it as the full quality here. All right. And now that we have that version saved, let's go on to our photo, double click the smart object. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off and turn the other football photo on. I'm going to say yes to save those updates to the smart object. And we'll just let that update. All right, so now for this one, we will have to change the colors out because, of course, we're working with a different theme here. But I want you to notice that anywhere you see a smart color, you can change the colors from that location, and it will change all respective presentations or instances of that very smart color. That's the whole purpose of a smart object. So let's say I want to keep that white and that black where it is, but I want to change out the red and the gold. Let's go ahead, let's double click on this gold here. Let's pick up our red first. Now this may not pick up the red that I want, but I'm gonna try it out anyway. Let's Control plus and get in there. I'm gonna pick the red from right here. Let's go to our smart color, and just because I don't know if I showed that to you right, let's choose smart color number 3. Right click, duplicate that layer, double click, and let's grab the color from our swatch, and I'm going to pick this extreme red just to show you what happens when you pick an extreme color. I'm going to hit the exclamation point and see how it brought me back down to there, because that is a easier to print color, or a color that is within my printer's color gamut. So let's hit yes to update that color. And me, I like harsh, I like really deep reds. So what I'm going to do for smart color 1 down here is I'm still going to choose red. So I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to choose red, but I'm going to choose a deeper version of it and a more pure version of the red, because the other one was more of a, had a little bit of a magenta tint to it, little pink tint. So I'm choosing a deeper red here. If I see the exclamation point, I can move it, and it shifted that color just a little bit, but it's fine with me. I'd rather it tell me a color it can print than for me to be looking at the screen thinking it's going to be a certain color and it comes off totally different. All right, and if we remember that color down below, I think I allowed it to be white. So let me do Control-0 to just zoom out. And where is it? That's our deeper red right there. I think I like that as is. And let's go ahead and maybe change this dark gold to that orange color. So anywhere I see the color, I can change it. And if I want to pick, it doesn't have a good orange to choose from, but I'm just doing this for the sake of pulling a color. Let's grab that orange there. There it is. That looks good right there. And if you can see with the color picker tool, as you move it around, it's showing you your last picked color and your current selected color. So you can keep hovering over something until you get what you want. All right. Again, let's double click on the gold here, duplicate that layer, double click on the swatch, and I'm picking the color from the foreground swatch here. Let's say yes to update the smart object. Let's see what we're working with. And this is where you'll have a little time to play in class too, because although the template is really simplified for you, there are a lot of ways in which you can play with this and make it your own. So I'm going to turn my guides back on in my outline. And for this one, I actually do like the white back there. I didn't think I would, but he has white in his jersey. But I want you to see there's so many variations of this. I can make the background color be white instead of black. That instantly changes the way this looks. Of course, you can, any placement that you have a smart color, you can switch it up. So you can put the orange where the red is, or you can put the black where the orange is, etc. And I'm just playing with these variations, seeing, you know, what suits me best. Now, I will give you a hint. The more white you put in your design, the less ink your printer will use. So if you can get away with this as the white as the main background color, you will save yourself a lot of ink. Michelle, if you're creating a 2X design, this is perfect for you, because as long as you stay within this dotted area here, then your design is going to work for a size small all the way up to an adult 3X. So this will print at a 36 by 44 if you're printing a sheet. If you are doing the split template, then you'll still say this is a 36 by 44. You'll turn off your guidelines, turn off the outside contour here, and you'll save it as a wallpaper, and you'll drag and drop it into the split template that you're going to prepare. All right. So yes, that's Photoshop, and I'm not certain if are you printing large format, or are you printing like, are you splitting it up with the split template with the 13 by 19 or smaller pages? Let me know. All right, so let's see, do I want black to be this main color here? Let's just right click on it. I'm going to go to a smart color 4 here and see if I potentially want to bring that, maybe that red works as the color there. It's not giving me enough contrast, so let's try the orange. That orange gives me good well, not good contrast, but at least something, a variation from the red. I think I like the black just because it grounds the image more. So I'm going to leave the black right there. You can also change the splash colors. Of course, right here I have black selected. I can turn off the black and let the splash color be orange. And that's updating right now. Just give it just a moment. You see how that changed the look of it? I can make the splash color white. Let's see if the background is black and I wanted to make the splash color white. I can do that. So, like I said, this is going to be more time for you all playing than actually changing and updating the elements of the template. So I want you to be able to distinguish what blend modes you're going to use for the photo that we update with the art mode. And then I also want you to take your time and figure out what color combination that you like and how you're able to utilize the different combinations to make an infinite number of different variations of this very same design. All right, so that, and then of course with the text here, I'm going to duplicate this text. And this one, instead is saying Wayne County High School. What does it say? Firehawks? Let's change Wayne County. We'll double click there. And we'll just say Firehawk. And to the high school, we'll put nation. Now I'm going to turn my guides back on because this is obviously not centered. So let's go ahead and center that. We'll take the entire text group. Each of these, let's make sure they're centered. And see how it shifted a little bit? I hit my alignment there. And I am just shifting this about the center until I get a little magenta line that comes down the center to let me know I'm about center there. There it goes, right there. So for this one, I do have to move my photo over a little bit. And it's because if you see where his helmet is, and this is a good idea here to take off. Let's delete that layer mask. There we go. So I probably want that Firehawk in there, you know, it's part of the design. So let's go ahead and we can fade off a little bit of the ankles here, but I really want to keep that helmet there. So let's create a new layer mask. And then we'll just fade just the bottom of the feet off there. That looks really cool. And let's go ahead and file. Well, before we do a save as, let me turn off these two layers here. Let's do File, Save As. And if you have the updated version of Photoshop, it might be Save as a copy. Let's save it as a JPEG here. And this is going to be our variation number 3. Save that. And just that easy, I'm going to also take you back to how we can reset these colors. I'll take it back to the CMYK version. And then I'll go ahead and get this thing saved and uploaded for those of you taking the class tonight. And for those who are VIP members, of course, you can check your VIP master code list and it will, oh, those colors look so good together. I like the yellow and the cyan. All right, and you'll see that you can, of course, take the course for free of charge. You'll use your coupon code, and if you're a $30 member, don't forget to use your 67% off coupon code. And if you aren't a member and you just want to take the class pretty much a la carte, you just want to take the class to see how it goes, I highly recommend you become a member because it saves you greatly. But if you're just wanting to take one class, see how it goes, especially a live class, then absolutely you may register for the class. It's $60 and it'll be at innateacademy.com. And Erica, if you would post that link for him, please, love. And I'm just changing back the photo now. So now you get to see when I reverse it, you're getting a little bit more understanding of how quick you can change out these templates. And I'm not even calling these 10-minute templates anymore. I'm calling them 5-minute templates, because by the time I make these smart colors and show you how to do a lot of these changes, you'll be able to do this in 5 minutes. Okay? As long as you don't let folks get carried away with the number of photos and all that stuff, and as long as you charge for those photos, each photo that you do, and it's worth your time doing the design, then by all means, accept those photos. All right, now this one, remember, I changed the color from white to a different color. So let me go to my smart color here, and instead of the white, I'm going to bring back the magenta here. Oop, I lied. That was my lightning. I want to keep my lightning white, but it does look cool with the magenta marbling as well. And this one is where my white is. That is color number 1. And I think I have color number 1 twice here. Where's my second color number 1? There it is. Turn off the white. There we go. And I don't know for this one if I want to leave the white as the background or the black, so I'm going to take away the white, show the black, and see which one I like better. And this is also why I duplicate the text groups, so that I can keep that original text there. And I'm going to fade off the bottom of this photo, because obviously this layer mask does not work for this photo. So I'm going to delete that layer mask, add a new one. Let's grab my paintbrush here, and I'm going to fade off the bottom down here. And if you don't know the backstory to Innate Lab and the naming and all of that good stuff, this is my dad, and we were having a conversation, my dad, my brother, and me, about what we should name our company, because we were planning to start a family business, right? And we came up with the name Innate because it means something that you're just born with, or something that you have naturally. And we are all artists, designers, creators in our own rights. So so we decided to name it Innate Designs. And then from there it became Innate Lab, because wherever we were, we tend to make it a lab. So whether it was the bedroom that you made into a lab, your garage, whether it be a business or whatever it was, we always called it the lab. So hence Innate Lab. And the slogan that my dad came up with, which at the time I thought was really silly because it just sounded like long and drawn out, which a lot of my videos are long and drawn out. Go figure where I get it from, right? He said, innate imagination with innovative ideas. So to this day, I always thought it was a little, a little long-winded and funny, but it grew on me. And of course, he's no longer with us in the physical form. So almost all of his lessons I get to pass on to you all without these long, drawn-out lectures. So you're welcome. So innate imagination, innovative ideas, that y'all get a piece of that with this this template as well. So let me go ahead and turn on my guidelines, so y'all follow those guidelines when you're designing, because I don't want you to be printing and end up having to cut off some of your good work. So that's it. I'm going to check and see if y'all have any questions, but I don't see any at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded for you all. All right, so it will come with this template, and if you've never designed Oliver shirt before, every time you see one of our all over classes, it's going to come, or templates, it's going to come with this template, but this is free. If you go to innatelab.com or Innate Academy, you'll find the free template. And basically, it's just going to be this guidelines in this layer here. That's a contour layer. And then it will also have a background layer. And you just put your art or your image in between those layers. So, and I have plenty of videos showing you how to do that if you're looking for a blank template to work with. The reason why I have designed it this way, where it is combined and it has the text and photo save area, is because I want you to do less work. I don't want you to have to design for every size shirt. I want you to be able to design one time and it fits the small all the way up to a 3X. And then if you need to do a child size shirt, you can group all of this and bring it into a youth template. If you need to do a 4X or 5X, you group all of this and pull it over into a 4X, 5X template. Therefore, you're just doing a lot less work, okay? Easter, how can you sign up for classes? Absolutely. You can go to the link that Erica's provided for you down there. I'll go ahead and pull that up. And if you become a member, there are some perks here. So a $60 VIP member gets to do any of the live classes, which are on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And these are some of the classes that we've done recently. This was last class. Of course, we have some workshops going on too. So if you need some hands-on training, make sure you check out one of our workshops. We're probably coming to a city near you. Let's see here. So yeah, these are the pre-recorded versions of the classes, but you'll see live, the word live in front of the class for tonight, which will be 147. And if y'all stick around with me for just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and do this mock-up. All right, so the mock-up, I need to save this out. And because I want to make the word imagination be a different color, I'm going to show you a little something. I'm going to take my smart color and make these different colors. Just because. And this was unintentional because I don't have the colors clipped to anything right now. But if you ever wanted to make something monochromatic, you can do exactly that. I'm clipping the colors to the text right now. Creating a clipping mask. And there we go. That way each of my letters or each of my lines of text, because if I kept that going, it would just color each line of text. Or I can color it all together. All right, so y'all will have that little bonus in there. And of course, I will give you the font as well. It's called Natural Naughty Font. So I will have that font included for you with this course. So I'm just saving here. All right, let's give it that time and let's do file save as, and I'm going to go ahead and save it as a JPEG. And this will be my variation 0. All right, so I will be mocking this up on, let's check out which Academy course already has 3 all overs. Let's see. I think 143 will work. So I'm going to go to my 143, my mock-up. And I'm going to go save it as 147 instead so that I can give you all this mock-up file with your course tonight. Now, more than likely, we won't be doing the mock-up in class. However, you will have the file to use afterwards. All right, so let's go ahead and change these. I'm going to let all of these be all overs. And of course, this is a PNG, so when I drag and drop my 147 art onto this mock-up, I need to make certain that I delete the layer underneath. I'm going to hit enter to lock in that transformation. I'm going to delete that layer. And if it was a JPEG, then you would just right click and you would flatten the image. So you can hit yes here. And that image will update. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of this file because I am doing it big while I'm live on Photoshop. So let me go ahead and close out some of these files. I'm going to go ahead and save and close out of this one. And meanwhile, I'm going to check to see if y'all have any questions for me. Brandy, as of right now, yes, I'm only doing this one or teaching Photoshop. I do know Affinity. I do at some point in time plan on doing some basic Affinity courses, especially for the kids. But my best description of how to do this is to learn Photoshop, and then if you know Photoshop, you can absolutely tackle any other design program. Even if that means you have to do like a, you know, a $9.99 subscription. I have the link for the $10 Photoshop subscription. If you just do Photoshop only for color management, you probably will save yourself a lot of headache, but you'll get used to using some of these features and functions in Photoshop. And whether you stick with Photoshop or not, which I, you know, would guess that you end up sticking with Photoshop once you learn it, you will have the principles down that you can use anywhere in any design program. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and change out this one here. Just right click and I clicked on 128. Let's drag and drop our other variation. Let's do the gold one over here. And then I'm going to right click and flatten that image and close it out. Say yes to update it. And that should propagate in just a moment. And then finally, I'm going to change this one here. We'll just double click, and that's the beauty of these smart objects. Let's go ahead and change that one out. And I'm going to right click, flatten the image, update that. Let's see how that one, I think that's my favorite so far. Now let's watch it update here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this, get this uploaded, loves. We got some construction and whatnot going on in the background, so I want y'all to know that we are diligently working on this lab for you all. And I know that I will see some of you this Saturday for the workshop, and I'm really excited to meet with you all. Please make sure you bring your mask so that we can stay on the safe side of this corona. And we are going to have a full jam-packed day from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 in the evening doing our workshop. And we'll have workshops in Jacksonville once, maybe twice per month for sure. And be looking out for us to come to a city near you. The next one we're coming to in around October 20th or so, is Chicago. So we're also visiting Texas, we're visiting California, and then soon after, or maybe even before December, we'll be visiting Louisiana and possibly Nevada. So Las Vegas, be looking out for us, okay? We did Atlanta 9/11. So we had a lot of fun in Atlanta. Brandy, the Photoshop link will be in the description, love. Oh, thank you, E. I appreciate that. All right, my loves, I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all know what it is. I love you. I appreciate you dearly. And until next time, bye.